To solve equations with fractions, we're going to be using a method where we use the lowest common denominator to help us get rid of the fractions and then have basically an equation that's a little bit easier to solve. So we want to start this question by finding the lowest common denominator of 4, 2, and 8. So just as a quick reminder, to find the LCD, we can write out the multiples of each denominator. So 4, 8, 12, and so on. 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. Multiples of 8 would be 8, 16. And there I see the lowest common denominator looks like it is 8. So here you'll see I actually just rewrote the equation just to give myself a little bit of extra space to work with. So after figuring out the LCD, the first step to solve equations with fractions is to actually multiply both sides of the equation by that LCD. We want to do it to both sides to make sure we're keeping the equation equal. The next step is just to distribute the 8 into everything within the bracket. So 8 multiplied by x over 4, I'm actually going to write it like this, 8 multiplied by x over 4. Then we have 8 multiplied by 1/2, so I'll write it like this, plus 8 multiplied by 1/2, and then that's equal to 8 multiplied by this 5 over 8. So you'll see essentially we have each of the fractions or each of the terms multiplied by that 8, that LCD. In the next step, you'll see how multiplying by the LCD allows us to get rid of the denominators. So if we go ahead and look at this equation and start simplifying, you'll see 8 divided by 4 is equal to 2. 8 divided by 2 is going to simplify to 4, and 8 divided by 8 is going to simplify to 1. So now if we go ahead and simplify this, you'll see we end up with a much simpler equation to work with. With this first term here, we're left with 2 multiplied by x plus 4 multiplied by 1, which just becomes 4, and 1 multiplied by 5, which just becomes 5. And now we can go ahead and solve this just like we've done in the past. Take away 4, 2x equals 1, and divide by 2. X equals, looks like 1 over 2. Like in part B, if you have a variable in front of a fraction, I would actually recommend rewriting it with the variable up top, and then it's kind of easier to keep track of what's happening with it. So I'll just rewrite this out as 1 over 3 equals 1 over 6. When I look at the denominators of 6, 3, and 6, I see that the LCD is 6. Now for the next step, we want to multiply both sides of the equation by the LCD of 6. So in the previous question, we had written it like this. But as a shortcut, you can write it a little bit different. You can instead go ahead and just multiply each term or each fraction by that LCD. So multiply this first one, multiply the second one, as well as the third one. So now that we've multiplied all of them by the LCD, we're going to simplify and try to get rid of those denominators. So 6 divided by 6 will cancel out the first denominator, and all we'll be left with there is 1. 6 divided by 3 evenly divides to 2, and 6 divided by 6 divides to 1. So there you'll see that we were able to get rid of all of the denominators. And now at this point we can write it out as a more simplified equation. So 1 multiplied by 1y is just 1y. Take away 2 times 1 is 2. And 1 times 1 is 1. So now just solve this equation. Plus 2 plus 2. 1y equals 3, and we can just drop that 1. I'm going to start by rewriting this equation. So a plus 3 over 4 equals 3a over 8 minus 1/2. So rewriting it has kind of given me space to put my LCDs, as well as I've kind of shown that a goes on top. When I look at the denominators 4, 8, 2, this is technically a 1, I would say the LCD is 8. So we're going to be multiplying each of the fractions or each of the terms by 8. So we'll have to multiply this one by 8, the second one by 8, the third one, as well as the fourth one. Now we'll use these LCDs to cancel out the denominators. So 8 over 1, that's just 8. So we can cross that one out. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 8 divided by 8 comes out to 1. And 8 divided by 2 is going to be 4. Now we can write this as a more simplified equation. 8 multiplied by 8 is 8a, plus 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. 1 multiplied by 3a is 3a, and take away 4 times 1 is 4. Let's go ahead and finish solving this. So take away 3a, 5a plus 6 equals minus 4. Then move our 6 over, so take away 6 from both sides. 5a is equal to negative 10. And finally, we get a is equal to negative 2. When I look at these denominators of 1, 2, 4, and 3, I see that my LCD is going to be 12. So I'm going to multiply all 4 fractions by 12. Next, let's get rid of our denominators. So 12 divided by 1 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 12 divided by 4 is 3. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. One tip with this step, if you're having a hard time figuring out what do we have left for the simplified equation, you could always highlight everything that we didn't cancel out. So we'll have 12 times 7 is equal to 6 times x plus 3 times 3x, take away 4 times 2x. So let's go ahead and write that out as an equation. So 12 times 7 equals 6x plus, we're going to have 3 multiplied by 3x, because we still have that 3 and that 3x. Take away 4 times 2x. So now we can simplify this. 12 times 7 is 84 equals 6x. 3 times 3x is 9x. Take away 8x. So at this point, I see we have a bunch of x terms on the right side. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify all of those together. So 6 plus 9 is 15. Take away the 8 is 7x. And finally, divide that 7 out to get 12. On the right side, where we have 1/2 multiplied by 4x plus 2, that's technically the same as 1 multiplied by 4x plus 2 divided by 2. That 4x plus 2 is on the top. Now, I'm actually going to erase the 1 in front of the bracket because 1 multiplied by 4x plus 2 is just 4x plus 2. Multiplying by 1 does not change the value of something. This question looks a little bit different than previous questions, but because we have a fraction here, we can use that same method. So we want to start by thinking about what is the LCD of 1 and 2? Well, I would say it's 2. So now we're going to be multiplying each fraction by that 2. Multiply by 2, multiply by 2. Now at this point, cancel out your denominators. So 2 divided by 1, that's going to cancel out that 1. 2 divided by 2 is going to become 1. So for this one, again, I'm going to show with my highlighter what I have left after I've canceled stuff out. So 2 multiplied by 1 equals 1 multiplied by all of this. So I'll rewrite this. 2 multiplied by 1 is 2, and that's equal to 1, 4x plus 2. So like I said before, 1 multiplied by 4x plus 2 is just 4x plus 2. So now we can just go ahead solve for x. 2 take away 2 is 0. 2 minus 2 kind of goes away from that side. And to get x by itself, we'll divide by 4. So 0 divided by 4 is 0. So x is 0. So similar to the previous question, let's rewrite this with those brackets on top. So 1, y minus 1 divided by 4. Like I said before, the ones in front of the brackets are not really necessary because multiplying by 1 is not going to change the value of something. So I'm actually going to get rid of those to simplify things. I would then identify our LCD between 2 and 4 as 4. So I'm going to multiply each of these fractions by 4. By multiplying by that LCD, we should be able to cancel out or divide out our denominators. So 4 divided by 2 is going to leave us with a 2. 4 divided by 4, we'll just be left with a 1. So we are left with the 2. This stuff inside the brackets equals 1 y minus 1. So I'll write the equation that we have left, 2 y minus 5 equals 1 y minus 1. And anytime we have brackets in the equation that we want to solve, let's go ahead and distribute. So 2 times y is 2y. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10 equals y minus 1. Then let's go ahead and put our y terms together. So take away y. 2y minus 1y is just y. Take away 10 equals minus 1. Move our constant terms to the right side. So add that 10. This will cancel out. And we're left with y is equal to positive 9.